Hello and welcome to another Friday night pint, but it's Thursday, of course. I'm here with the original boys, Scotty and Ryan, back in the house today for this Thursday night pint. There's a lot to talk about, and we obviously are not here because tomorrow we will be at the game. Well, I will be at the game anyway. But boys, how you doing this week? All right?
Yeah, good. Go on, Scott, you go, mate.
Yeah, no, I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Back off holiday, back into the swing of working and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm all good, mate. All good.
Right.
As Scott said, yeah, I'm all good. Yeah, no, I'm all right. Yeah, I've had a good week, mate. Long weekend coming up. I'm off tomorrow, so got a lot going on this weekend. So yeah, it's going to be a busy one, but yeah, looking forward to it.
Well, the bank holiday weekend is here. Let's get into what we're going to be talking about today. Mostly transfers, obviously. Alvarez has joined Fenerbahce without replacements, but we're going to see who the replacement may be. That's one thing we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about Sky and are they ruining football? Well, that's what I've come up with anyway. I know that Dan didn't post it in the group, but that's what I wanted to talk about. And a host of all different stuff. Let me just see if Dan's posted our video that we have to play. Can't see it. So, no, he hasn't yet. So, let's get straight into it then, boys. Alvarez. Loan out to Fenerbahce. I was only saying on a preview the other day that I think he should be playing. What is going on in terms of this? Because it now looks like let's try. I mean, there's all sorts of shit going on, and we'll delve right into it. But first of all, Ryan, loaning out Alvarez to Fenerbahce when we're desperate for midfielders. What are we got? What's going on? What are we doing?
It's crazy. I think it's a crazy decision, mate. Honestly, I rate Alvarez. He's 27 years old. He's had a great summer for Mexico. He's one of our better midfielders. Apparently, he's not good enough for Potter, but he's good enough for Mourinho. I just don't get it. And I bet Alvarez jumped to the chance to go and play for Mourinho because from what I'm hearing, he doesn't get on with Potter. He's been treated like shit. I know there's rumours about Alvarez not turning up for training on time. And all right, you've got to have that little bit of respect there. But if you're getting treated like shit, then you can sort of understand it. But I just think it's crazy. Unless they've got something lined up, well, they need something lined up. Let's put it that way. They need something lined up because to allow Alvarez to leave this football club now, when we're on the verge of the day before a big London derby, and we're going into it with probably James Ward-Prowse and Rodriguez again, we are going to get absolutely ruined tomorrow in that midfield with what Chelsea are going to put out, and we're just going to get run all over the show, mate. It's embarrassing from the club, but look, this is West Ham. This is what happens. Every day you wake up, there's something new. There's something new that we've attempted to sign someone. We're tweeting out tweets to vote for who we want, like it's some sort of reality show. This ain't reality. This is fucking real life. This is our football club, and we're getting treated like muppets.
I tend to agree, Scotty.
Yeah, but do you know what? Bang on point. Everything Ryan said there is absolutely madness. You know, our midfield was leggy against Sunderland. You know, there's no pace in there. Alvarez is by far the better holding midfielder at the club. Rodriguez, you know, we've been openly trying to get rid of him all through the summer. And now it seems like, you know, Potter's all of a sudden realised, I want to keep this guy. Look, if there is an issue between Potter and Rodriguez, then that is a problem. But no player's bigger than the club, no manager's bigger than the club. At the end of the day, they need to draw a line under it because we're not in a situation to sell quality players. We've lost Kudus. Now we're going to lose Alvarez, who is our best midfielder. You know, let's be honest about it. What happened last season is gone by the by. You know, like Ryan said, he had a fantastic Gold Cup, scoring the winner in the final. He looked happy. He said the right things in the press conference afterwards, how he wants to stay at West Ham. And we're letting him go on loan. You know, at a time when the club's sitting here saying that we're scraping a barrel for money, we need money, you know, putting their fucking little pot in their hand, shaking the change inside of it because they want more money, we're letting him go on loan. It makes no sense whatsoever.
this is what I don't understand, Scott. I can understand if they come in with a 35, 40 million pound bid, then yeah, you can sort of understand it. But we're loaning him out. We've not an obligation to buy either. So I don't get the deal. I think it's unless they're getting these wages off the books to bring someone else in.
Yeah,
that's the only thing I can think of.
Do you think possibly that one of the reasons it is a loan deal, like I said, it's getting the wages off the books, but one of the reasons is a loan deal because they don't think Potter's going to be here to start next season?
Scott Potter might not be here at the start of October.
Mate, listen, the annoying thing for me is what I thought would be with Potter is coming true. You know, I said this back when I done the watch along with Dan against Villa in his first game that he doesn't. I don't think he fits. Look, I'm still happy to give him a bit of time, but the way things are going, mate, it's ridiculous. Absolutely
Scott,
ridiculous.
Listen to this, like, and obviously Nicky as well, right? Our next 6 Premier League games, not including the Wolves game in the Cup, is Chelsea at home, Forest away, Spurs at home, Palace at home, Everton away, Arsenal away. Do you honestly think we're going to get anything with what we've got now? Can you see us picking up anything out of them games?
Mate, we're West Ham. We're going to win Friday night.
No,
you know it's going to happen.
No, this is serious. Like in the old days, you know, what I mean, we had a lack of quality, but we did have some quality in there. There's no quality there. There's in that midfield there's quality, but there's no legs there. That's what I would say. Like Rodriguez has got no quality about him anymore, and if he has got any quality about him, it's not in his running. And James Ward-Prowse, as I said before, you know, people saying I sort of compared him to Beckham. I said he was very much like a Beckham type player when he finished his career. I didn't say he was like anything like David Beckham. What I said is he's very much plays that holding midfield role in the way Beckham did, and he's got a similar type of passing range if you give him the runners. If you watch the way we play, there are no fucking runners. Nope. There are no runners. We're short up front. Paquetá strolling about as if I don't know whether that geezer wants to be here or not. You know, one week he looks like he does, one week he looks like he don't. You know, and I said on the preview on Wednesday, whenever it was, I said the only way we're going to beat Chelsea is if we get in amongst them and hit them hard. Yeah, we are not going to outdo them for quality anywhere on the pitch. Nowhere. You know, our attack are not going to beat their defence. Our midfield is not going to beat their midfield, and our defence ain't going to beat their attack. There is nowhere we win that. The only way we get anywhere is if we get someone walking around the midfield, rattling people. The only person that we've got to do that is Alvarez. He's the only person who could go around and absolutely fucking clobber one of their midfielders. And we've just let him go on loan. I think it is. I don't think it's madness. I think it's fucking criminal, to be quite honest with you. Especially when you see what we had in midfield there on Saturday, and then you look around, and you know, that tweet from Sean fucking angered me on Tuesday, Wednesday, whenever it was. It was right and fell asleep. Oh, his camera.
No, there was a fucking spider web just coming down. I wanted to knock it off, but I thought they're going to look at me and think I'm punching the camera.
Yeah, it was absolute shambolic what I saw on Saturday. And we're meant to be signing players. We're meant to be signing midfielders. To let one of your better ones go on loan, I don't know what's going on at this club at the minute. I really don't. And it's fucking criminal because, you know, as I said about Sean, the tweet, you know, I don't know whether we can get that tweet up somewhere along the line, but he's put this thing up about we're looking at 3 midfielders and they're all darked out and there's 3 midfielders there. And as I said to him in my tweet, you can normally tell me the fucking bowel movements of David Sullivan before he has a shit. How comes you can't tell me who these 3 midfielders are? That looks suspicious to me. Geese have got every bit of information going because he fucking sucks that Sullivan's dick. Yeah.
But did you see the tweet after when he put a list of about 10 players and went, "What's your favourite 3?" Wanting people to give nominations.
Madness. It's fucking madness.
What other football club does that, mate? What other football club does that? We're like we need a Netflix show because we are a reality TV waiting to happen.
They would not fucking let them cameras in our dressing room because if they fucking did, they would show what a shit show it really is. It is,
Imagine you watched it and it was the absolute bollocks.
It's just, I don't know, man. Like it's stressing me out. It stresses me out looking at it, and like a vote to see who their favourite three midfielders are. They've already put in bids for three of them. They, the bid that went back in for Fernandes was about £1 million or £2 million more than it was the time before. That's why they turned it down again.
2 million, wasn't it?
It was 2 million, yeah. And it's like, when I look at it, they're letting players go without actually fucking knowing. And this is not the first time this happens. It's happened time after time after time again. Haller went. We didn't replace him for about 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking madness. Like, it's criminal.
The problem with this Fernandes deal as well is it's not so much the value, it's the instalments. West Ham want to pay it over 6 instalments. Southampton don't want that. So it don't matter if we go back with a £45 million bid. The instalments are still going to be the same. Southampton don't want that. They want it done in like three payments, which I can understand. They need the money.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, as well, is that we seem to always look at the option that suits the club. Never what suits the team, what makes the team better, what improves the team. It suits the club. At the end of the day, look, there isn't an endless pot of money. But if Southampton want 50 million quid for a player, why are you offering 30 million? Every season after season after season, we do exactly the same thing. We go in with a stupid bid, and then they go, "No, we don't want it." And then they go in with another stupid bid and go, "No, because we tried."
We tried FC. That's what it is. And I still can't see. I still can't see it. How we can be in so much trouble financially when we've sold Rice and Kudus.
Yeah, I know, mate. It's a joke.
We're not. It's just a load of fucking nonsense. Like, it's a load of bollocks. Yep. And we are absolute fucking mugs for sitting here taking it, to be quite honest with you. Because at the end of the day, right, when it all comes down to it, at the end of the day, everything that matters at that football club, in terms of money, in terms of the business, in terms of anything that's happening, all comes down to what's on the fucking pitch. And you're stripping it. You're stripping it of any type of quality, any type of saleability. It looks like it's getting ready for a fucking relegation, if I'm honest. It looks like he's trying to take us down. And I can't work out why. Because I know.
I was going to say, Scott just put that message up, Klarna FC. We can't be Klarna FC because that's 3 payments. We're paying 3 with Klarna or paying 30 days.
Oh,
I get what you're saying, though, Nick. It's a fucking shit show. And like, when I watched Chelsea the other day, I know they drew 0-0, but they had 19 shots, 19 efforts. Like, imagine like watching the team if we start with the same team we did against Sunderland. I mean, you look at their midfield, they play a 4-2-3-1, and they have Fernandes and Caicedo holding, and then they've got Neto, Palmer, and the young kid, is it Gittins on the left? He actually looks all right, and then they've got João Pedro up front, and they all move about. Cole Palmer's going to have a field day. He's going to have the absolute freedom. He's going to have the freedom to sit here in the London Stadium, honestly. And he ain't scored for so long.
The thing is, as well, though, if you revert back to the game against them last season, the first, I think 2 out of the 3, did they get the 3 goals last time? But they literally straight ball through the midfield.
Yeah, I remember it. I was there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's just screaming the same sort of thing. And, we're meant to be plugging the gaps where the leaks were. It just seems we're just creating more holes. We're banning out a sinking ship with buckets with holes in. That's what it seems to me at the moment. It just
seems to me. The thing is, Scott, that there seems no rhyme or reason to what we're doing. Like, we're getting rid. Last week, I know they haven't gone yet, but they're saying Alvarez, Rodriguez, and Irving will all be gone by the end of the summer. But they haven't got. We've got 10 days left. Mm-hmm. 10 days till the window closes, and we haven't got a fucking clue who's coming in.
Nope, exactly.
We have not got a fucking clue.
And I see a tweet today that going out that the club realised that they need to sign 2 midfielders. We realised we needed to sign 2 midfielders way back at probably the middle of last season, let alone the end of the last season. Yeah, why is it taking now for them to realise this?
Yeah, that was the main priority, was the midfield, and yet we go out and spend a lot of money on a goalkeeper. I think Diouf is a great signing. We needed someone on the left side, but I just don't understand it. And like you said, there's 10 days left, and I watched a bit of Potter's interview earlier, his press conference, and it didn't fill me with any confidence. I think he sort of accepted this is what I've got and this is what I'm going to have to deal with. There might be maybe someone like what's his name who from Burnley, that Brownhill. We'll probably get him on a free. We'll probably get a couple of cheap signings just to fill up the squad. It's worrying. It's worrying. And look, where I know like people say, "Oh, calm down, it's one game," but I'm not looking at one game. I'm looking at what we've got for the next fucking how many games until the next transfer window. Because by that time we could be dead and buried.
Mate, you look at it, we were poor, very, very poor last season with exactly the same squad we've got now, minus a player like Kudus and now a player like Alvarez. And that is a worry because you've took two players out of that who didn't have the best seasons, but two players who have got a lot of quality about their game on their day.
If you look at the clubs that have gone from having good seasons to bad seasons, what do they normally do? They normally get rid of their better players and replace lopsided. So they'll get rid of a defensive midfielder. Let's look at Leicester, right? They get rid of a defensive midfielder like Kante, and they replace them with wingers, and they never actually replace them. Like, I've got a feeling this is what we're doing with Rice. You know, when we look at Rice, who the fuck did we replace? Trying to replace Rice? Alvarez. He's now gone, and there's no replacement for him. Who the fuck did we sign to make the team better? Kudus. Now he's gone. There's no replacement for him. We've replaced him with a wing back and a goalkeeper.
Yep.
You know, the centre backs haven't been addressed. The midfield hasn't been addressed, and they were our fucking main priorities. They were the ones that we had to sign. Why sign a left wing back? I don't mean to be rude. Left wing back. When you look at left wing back, I like Diouf. I don't think that Diouf is a decent player, yeah. But we had Emerson and Scholes. There's nothing wrong with them. Like you could get a game out of them. You know what I mean? Like, why spend 15, 20 million? I don't know what we spent on Diouf, but it was a good chunk of money, and another 15, 20 million on the goalkeeper. When you're screaming out for a midfielder, you need Alvarez and someone else, a Souček to go in now. You know, a Paquetá. The rest can all fuck off. You know what I mean? But then we need a box to box midfield. We need different. We need something different. We haven't got any variety in there. You know, and it's absolute shambles the way this club is run. Absolute shambles. If Sean Whetstone, and these people do piss me off, because I can sort of understand. I don't forgive him because I'll never forgive him. But I can sort of understand the fact that David Sullivan isn't fucking in touch with a fan base, or he isn't in touch with the way football works nowadays, because he's an old man that's upping out of his depth now. Yeah. The thing I can't accept at all is the fact that someone like Sean Whetstone, who's meant to be a fan, does his dirty fucking job for him, does his dirty work for him all the time. I cannot get my head around it. Like, why the fuck would you do a man like that's dirty work? Because we all know it. We've seen it with other people before, not us, because we've never been in their pockets, but other people have been in their pockets. That club will pick you up and drop you on your fucking head when they don't need you anymore. Yeah. So why on earth people like him facilitate people like David Sullivan? It baffles me, because he gets a little bit of information, because he gets a click on his podcast or two. You know what I mean? Like, do something else. Like, we don't have any info fucking information, and we get plenty of clicks on our podcast and our videos and all that. You know, he can't be getting more than us, with all due respect. He can't. So why would you do that? Why would you?
It's an ego.
Someone like that.
It's an ego thing, isn't it, Nick? We know that it's an ego thing. You know, people like to be the first to break news. They like to be the ones that wind up the fan base. They've got David Sullivan's number in their phone. It's an ego thing. You know, I've never been into all that sort of stuff. You know, it don't interest me. Like you said, we've been offered things before from the club tables at fucking end of season awards, and it's just not for me. I'd rather sit out on the street outside the ground with the fans and be in that corporate fucking hospitality box sitting next to Sullivan and Gold when he was alive, and Brady. It's not my sort of thing. And as I said, mate, it all comes down to ego. It's always like, oh, I know David Sullivan. I know this. I know that. He's told me this. Mate, you're a prick, because you're winding up the fan base. And before it, one day you're going to be over the ground. Someone's going to clump you and you're going to go crying. You're going to go crying. But you've got to realise that is what you've done. You don't have to. Don't do it. Don't wind up the fan base. When I see that tweet yesterday about fucking posting what 3 midfielders do we want? I just thought to myself, mate, you're embarrassing. How old is he? 50-odd-year-old man? It's fucking embarrassing. He's like a little girl in the playground.
Yeah, it's fucking odd, mate. It's odd and it's worrying. It's disturbing. The fact that so many people facilitate the geezer. I mean, I've been accused in the last couple of weeks of being a Sullivan stooge. I don't know whether these people have ever watched our podcast over the last 10 years, but if there's something you can't accuse us of, any of us, is being Sullivan stooges, because we can't
but
stand
people are going to say that, mate. People are going to say that only because, like, when I see you two out together in that Turkish restaurant the other week, like, I didn't really take much notice of it, but like you and Sullivan having a nice little sheesh together, I thought I didn't really think much of it. But
yeah, but it's it's one of them things, mate. Like, it's the problem is with the board, and I say this greatly. We look at the football team as a whole. We've been banging on the ball about the ball for 10 years. 10 years. And I'm getting to the point now where I'm tired of it. I can't bang on about the board anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we know the board, but the problem is, I know there's petitions and all that going around, and this is just my opinion. Listen, and don't say that fucking, I'm not saying don't go and sign a petition. Go and sign a fucking petition. If the petition could get us somewhere, go and sign it. But a petition to get the owner out of a football club is very, very unlikely. And I mean that with the greatest respect. He's going to sell when he wants to fucking sell.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I know it's all pressure and it can't hurt, but I'm just saying, like, he will sell when he wants to sell. You know what I mean? We had someone on here the other night saying that he doesn't intend to sell. And I'm just fucking pissed off of it, and I'm disappointed and I'm let down, and the same things that I've been feeling for fucking 10 years, to be quite honest with you.
The thing is, though, we thought, the way we finished last season, our poll that we thought going into this season, we'll see a bit of rectifying, and investment, not massive investment, but some investment made into the right things. Macaulay and Potter was saying the right things at the end of last season, that they want to look at youth, they want to look at bringing in players that are hungry, trying to bring in, again, what we've said in the past, a model of football, like what we see with the Brightons and teams like that, when they out goes a player, in comes a player, like for like swaps, right? That's what we were sort of alluded to, that is going to start to happen. As per usual, we're fed a load of shit and we get the same old. What player looks good on Football Manager 25? I'm going to pick him. He looks good. His stats good. That's what it seems we're going again. Get that dartboard up. Throw the dart. Number one. What player's number one? That's the one we're going to go with. The goalkeeper that we brought in, don't know why we got him, to be honest. I didn't watch Leicester that much last season, but I very much doubt he was any good. Yeah, okay, we've got him as our goalkeeper for the next 10 years because he's only 25 years old. Well, he didn't look that good to me, conceding the goals that he conceded. Basic football, basic goals scored against us, balls into the box, something that we don't do. We've got a big German who's decent in the air. Do we swing crosses into him? Nah. Do we play up to his strengths? No, we play deep, sit and play holding football against a side like Sunderland. It's rinse and repeat. It's Moyes' ball without Moyes. Lopetegui was Moyes' ball without Moyes. This is Moyes' ball without Moyes. Exactly the same thing, and it ain't going to get any better unless things change, and things ain't going to change, like you said, mate. The guy's going nowhere until he wants to go. And we can put as much pressure on as we did before with the protest in the Burnley game, things like that. They act, and they'll still sit back and go, hang on a minute, we won a trophy. That's what they're going to live on that. They're going to live on that for 10 years. That's what they're going to live on.
Right? Now, I'm just looking at the squad that was for last Saturday against Sunderland, right? So, if you want to change it, now I've had a look at it. Now I'm going to take Alvarez out because he's not included. This was our bench without Alvarez. Areola, Irvine, Mavropanos, Potts, Scholes, Souček, Walter Peters and Callum Wilson. Now, who would you take out of that bench to improve that team against Chelsea?
Areola? Do you know what I mean? Mavropanos.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, I look at it and I think, okay, maybe Potts coming in, but then,
but
who are you going to drop?
The thing with Potts, though, right, is that Potts is unproven. Give the kid a chance. But the kid should have been given a chance against Sunderland. You were actively trying to sell Rodriguez and Ward-Prowse all through the summer, right? You've bought Potts. Potts come back from his loan spell at Pompey, done really well there, sitting there saying you're going to give youth a chance, and you play players you're actively trying to get out of the door over a youngster who you want to give a chance to. Yeah, I'm not saying he would have been the answer and he would have changed the game completely, but if you ain't going to give him a chance, what is the fucking point?
We said it last week.
He's the one that we're going to have next week or the week after, regardless. Yeah. You know, he might be.
We said it last week, didn't we, mate? We said he's played Potts all pre-season. And it comes to match day, and he's not in the starting 11. I couldn't work it out. He's already come out today and said that Hermanson's going to start tomorrow. So I mean, with what happened with the chances Chelsea had last week, and the way Hermanson performed last week, mate, I can see. Do you know what? We could be on the end of a good hiding tomorrow. But as Scott said earlier, he's West Ham, and we're probably shit house a 1-0 win somehow or something. But
I'll be honest with you, mate, and I will take the comments now. I think that might be the worst thing to happen to us if we do that tomorrow.
What, I really do. Yeah.
To win 1-0 against Chelsea would be the worst thing to happen to us because they will sit back and go, see, we've got enough. Yeah. Right, we've made the right decisions, and you know we've saved the right. We need a good fucking hiding.
Do you honestly think that they believe that? Do you honestly think that Potter sits there and thinks he looks around at that squad and thinks, yeah, this is enough? I don't think he does. I think that he's not being backed. And I think that if Sullivan can actually sit there and whoever's in charge, Mark Noble as well, whoever the other geezer is who's involved, do you think they actually look at that squad list and think, yeah, that's enough? That's enough. Or do you think they look at it and think they'll just about keep us up? That do.
Yeah, that's exactly what they think.
The thing is, Nick, right? You're sitting there saying that we need a good hiding, right? We got a good hiding last week.
No, right? we need a good hiding.
No. That was a good hiding. We lost, right? We lost 3-0 in the second half of a game to a side that scraped through the playoffs to get promoted. Right?
It's not the same side, though, is it?
But listen, you're getting beat 3-0 by a championship side. Yeah, it's a good idea, mate.
Yeah, they had seven debuts in that team squad. It's not the championship team, is it?
But,
and they had someone like Granit Xhaka who's got Premier League experience.
Yeah, but how old's Granit Xhaka? How slow is Granit Xhaka? And he still run rings around our midfield. That's how embarrassing that we are. And this is the thing. That is a good hiding. Championship side come newly promoted, scraped through the playoffs, 7 debuts, a team that's still looking to gel up against a team that was together all last season. A team that had a pretty good pre-season.
I get that, mate. It was Potter's heaviest defeat at West Ham. I said it yesterday as well. He's won 3. He's won 3 out of 9 Premier League games at home. Yep. If he loses tomorrow, he's going to have the worst record of any Premier League manager for West Ham. I think Avram Grant and Alan Kirbishley had 10 points. So if he gets a point tomorrow, he equals them. If he don't win, he's the worst manager we've had in our Premier League era.
Yeah. And the thing is, listen, as much as I was critical of him when we got him, as much as I will be critical, I want him to succeed because as we've said before, he succeeds, the club succeeds, the team succeeds. I don't see it. You don't fill me with no confidence one bit. Really doesn't feel really confidence.
Do you know, one game that springs to mind that I think tomorrow night might be like, do you remember when we played Arsenal on Rice's first game back in the Premier League and they was like 4-0 up after about 35 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people started walking out. I can see it maybe being like that tomorrow. I really hope I'm wrong. But I've got a bad feeling about tomorrow night. Really have.
Me too. Let me take some of these comments. Thank you to Malcolm Jones, who became a new member. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that. Guido doesn't even want a beer. It says Gravy 27OB. Matt Powell says, apparently I see on Twitter we put a bid in for over 10 midfielders. Madness. Steve WHG Bell says, sleepwalking into the championship. John Osborne, a.k.a. Virgil, says, devalue the club to sell it cheap to a company he is involved in or a pal of his. I don't know why he would sell it cheap. I don't think he's going to want to sell it cheap. I don't really understand. Joe the Hammer says Chelsea might have drew 0-0 to Palace. We're in a different league to us currently. The Leicester fan says West Ham are now paying the price for poor recruitment, particularly last summer, and not replacing Declan Rice. Matt Powell says Sean Winston is so far up Phil Sullivan's arse. He's so close to Narnia. I'm sure he means Weston. Watched the HITC video from last night. Blew my mind. The figures he was saying, lies, lies, lies. I'll have to have a look at that and react to that one as it happens. If we can't buy players, why can't we bring in some midfielders in on loan? Surely we have the money to pay the wages. Surely. I'm not a West Ham fan. Everyone I ask, can't seem to get an answer. Why is nobody in for Bowen? Reminds me of Son at Spurs, top player, no bids. I don't think he's interested in leaving. Mr. C says the great thing about you always exactly what Ryan said. You are not interested in being a mouthpiece and being told what to say. Your status is being an honest, independent group. Guys, Kylo says call Weston up. If I had his number, mate, I would, as it happens. Matt Rainey says, Paul, never apologise, my friend. I was thinking bloody hell, 150 billion in 15 years, but it's possible. Never know. He may have a few more billions under the radar. Who knows? Sean and Dildo Baggins, I wonder what's happening now. Paul McCullough says, we are so far behind the rest of the Premier League in the way we play. Pass, no attacking threat, no ball over the top, no through ball. The bench, nobody who can come on and change the game. That is very, very true. I think it was 3-0 by 20 minutes and 6-0 by 77 minutes. That's very specific, Matt, to be quite honest. Yeah. Gravis is a bit unfair to say that they're a decent side that ground was hopping. Wasn't at the start. I was there. It wasn't at the fucking start. It wasn't as you thought it was. Potter's ideas are clear, but the board haven't backed him with the right players. How can you expect possession managers to succeed without a proper midfield? And John says, but Scott Potter said today that it wasn't a 3-0 score. Then I think it was Graham. I don't know whether he's talking to our Graham or Graham Potter, but either or.
So at the end of the day, you know, that was it, wasn't it? You know, they for him to come out and say that, the performance in the second half wasn't good enough. You know, at the end of the day, that's why you can sit there and if we had clear-cut chances and we could have scored 3 goals and we was unlucky, their keeper had Weldy, we hit the bar, hit the post. You know, like when we played Forest and we lost there for their first game back. Yeah, we had chance of we lost 1-0. We didn't take our chances. That one is 3-0. It's embarrassing. And it's basic, simple crosses into the box. Basic defending.
I saw Jared on a podcast there, the Iron podcast, saying that we can do better. I'm not sure we can. If I'm honest, I'm not sure we can.
The thing is, there was that first half. There was positives in there, but you know, the overall performance, especially the second half, just wasn't good enough. And this is the thing: if you can't capitalise when you are on top in the game and when you are playing well, you know, we've known.
Scott, I don't particularly think we was on top. It was even, but I don't think we was on top.
But this is what it comes to. You've got to take your chances at them points, though.
Yeah.
You know, and this is what it boils down to. We play too much in our own half. We don't attack. We don't go forward. We don't look at. We're so predictable in how we play. You know, and this is the big issue. This hasn't been addressed in 3 managers now. Moyes, predictable, always done the same thing. Lopetegui, predictable. Now it's Potter. It's the same thing over and over, rinse and repeat. And 2 managers have had the opportunity to change it, and 2 managers keep doing the same thing.
But it makes you think: are they being told to play like that? Maybe is that a Sullivan favourite formation that he wants to see or something? Because you're right. You've had Moyes come in, you've had Lopetegui come in, and now Potter, and nothing's changed. We're getting worse. We're getting worse, and we're going backwards. You know, we went out last summer under Lopetegui, and we spent a lot of money, and we brought in some decent signings, but he didn't last long. He was gone by what was it? October, November. No, December, wasn't it? Because Potter come in January. So it's I don't know, mate. I think you could put Pep Guardiola in this football club and it'll go backwards. That's how it is.
Unfortunately, mate, I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. It doesn't look like this video's ready still. We're getting a bit worried about this, to be honest with you, but never mind. Let's go to the next one then. Just before we talk about the next midfielders in, did anyone see that the Leeds game's been moved to a Friday night? That's on top of the Everton game that's been moved to a Monday night. That's on top of the Chelsea game that comes, the first game of the season that starts tomorrow night. Now, this is not good for football, boys. You know what I mean? Like I see an advert on the way to actually, I think I was on the way to a football game, matter of fact. I can't remember what football game it was. And it said on the billboard, we've moved from 135 live games to 215 live games on Sky Sports. Now, when I thought about that, I was thinking, fucking hell, like, you think about how much football is on Sky Sports, yeah? You can switch it on like pretty much any day of the week, and there'll be a Premier League game on at them times, the Sunday, the Saturday, the Monday. And I'm thinking, they've got now, that's nearly double the amount of games. That's another 2/3 the amount of games. Where are they going to fit all these in? Well, I'm going to tell you where they fit them in. They fit them in on Friday nights. And I've got to say, and this is very relevant as what we're talking about now, I wouldn't mind going down, because if we go down, this Premier League is taking a fucking piss with what it's asking its fans to do. Because travelling to Leeds, travelling to Everton on Monday, Friday nights to appease Sky, it's not only that, they don't give a shit about the fans. They don't really give a shit about the players because they're just piling these fucking fixtures on one after the other. Discuss, boys.
Thing is, mate, like what you mentioned there is about the Leeds game has been moved to the Friday night. You've also got to mention that on the Monday we've been moved to Monday night football against Brentford. So we've got 2 games in 4 days.
4 days, yeah.
Brentford at home on the 20th and Leeds away on the 24th.
Yeah.
They've moved Everton to a Monday night. It's not only about West Ham, it's about every club. Every club is having to do this. And Sky now are showing every Sunday 2:00 kickoff. They're going to be more Friday night games. They're going to be Monday night games. Before you know it, we're going to get to the point where there'll be Wednesday night games. They'll be showing it's the Saturday 3:00 kickoffs are going to be. You're going to be lucky to get 4 or 5 a season at this point.
Yeah.
And the thing is, mate, you've still got that 3 p.m. blackout. Where they can't show the Premier League games at 3 p.m.
There is a thing, right? So if that
there's hardly any of them now anyway.
If that 3 p.m. blackout wasn't here, they could fit them games in by just showing the Saturday games, but they're not. They're having to move games to early kickoffs, late kickoffs. Fridays and Mondays are getting pounded. And you're talking about supporters, and you got to think Sunderland are in this league this year. Newcastle are in this league this year. They have to travel down more than anybody.
Yeah. Yep.
So they're going to be travelling constantly down to London, to the Midlands and all that, long, long ways away on Monday and Friday nights. And it's getting beyond a fucking joke, to be honest with you. They was taking the piss before.
Yep. Yeah. And it's what Matt says there, this comment here, when they're picking the Friday and Monday night games for the night games, they should think of the parameters of a competition. If you've got a Liverpool-Everton, stick that on a Friday night or stick that on a Monday night.
I said this yesterday as well, Scott. Like they've put Brentford, West Ham on a Monday night and Leeds and West Ham on a Friday night. Surely in that weekend, when the Brentford game, surely there's a better game. And surely there's a game that is more... I know it's a London derby, but West Ham Leeds is quite a big game, you know what I mean? So, or vice versa. There could have been a game on that weekend we play Leeds where they could put, right, West Ham and Leeds can be the Saturday and we'll put, I don't know who's playing that weekend, but fucking, I don't know, whoever's Bournemouth, Brighton, say, I don't know. But yeah, it's ridiculous, mate.
That's the thing, mate. You can look at each week, and when them fixtures announced, Sky can look at each week. They know they're going to pick their darlings. They're always going to have the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Manchester Cities, the Chelsea. They want them on TV, right? They're going to have them games. But when you're picking the other games that they don't really want to put on Sky because they don't really care about anyone else apart from them big 6 sides, when you're picking that, think of the supporters that have to travel. The reason we don't have the 3 p.m. back out is because they think that all the La League teams will suffer and people won't go to the games. Having games on TV all the way through the season proves that people will still attend the game even if it's live on telly. Right. And I don't think it's like it used to be. There isn't that many West Ham fans that go to Leyton Orient, go to Dagenham and Redbridge, go to teams that are local anymore. It ain't like it used to be that when West Ham were away and all that, because so many of us can fit in the bloody stadium. Right. So you could do away with that. You could have every game live on the TV. Because let's be honest, how many of us sit there and watch it anyway when we ain't supposed to watch it? Loads of people do. So you still get the fans in the ground. Right. So that just do away with that. Think about the supporters instead of just the greed. And that's what it's all about. The clubs are up for it because they're getting more money off of Sky. They don't care. Sky are getting their money on for it. They don't care. And that is the big problem is supporters through the Premier League and throughout football are thought of last in this country. And it's got to stop. It's got to change. Something's got to give. You can't keep doing it. You watch it again. Come Boxing Day with the Boxing Day fixtures. I'm sure they'll screw some set of supporters over, making them have to travel at 7 o'clock on a Boxing Day when there's no train.
There's no Premier League games on Boxing Day.
Oh, that makes a change. It does make a change. But do you know what I mean? It's things like that. You saw it last season. They screw fans over. They just don't care.
Saying that, Scott, there's no fixtures on Boxing Day in the Premier League, but there is on the 27th. So they've still got to do that. It's all around Christmas time.
Yeah. And why is there not games on Boxing Day?
I don't know, mate. I know there is Championship games and League One, League Two, but I think I don't know. It's the first time they've ever done it.
Probably it's probably because they know they've got a fucking good amount of complaints coming by fans going to Friday night and Saturday night games. If you start putting them out on Boxing Day as well.
But Boxing Day games were part of Christmas, Nick. Do you know what I mean? It's what we always had. And this is the thing. It's just ripping the whole thingy of football. And I completely understand why so many people are fed up with Premier League football now.
Yeah, I agree, mate. I agree. Let me take some comments on this one. I know we've got the video to come after this one, but let me just take these comments here. Spurs home is at 5:30 after Chelsea. Yep, another home game. That's not a 3 o'clock kickoff. The truth is, Mr. H, people in Ipswich and those who get relegated love getting games back to more regular times. I couldn't agree more, mate. 2 p.m. kickoffs are shit, says Matt Rainey. Disagree. Don't let the fake advertisement for Sky fool you. 128 to 215 live games, bollocks, 760 total, but we get 215. This is why illegal streaming exists. The foreigners get our sports. Also, the leagues are doing it to appease international markets with marketable time slots for their viewing figures. La Liga having midday kickoffs for the Far East TV broadcast, etc. All the Sunday 2 p.m. games are on TV at the same time now, and they are thinking about Thursday night football on non-Europa League. Thursday night football, fuck me. I thought Friday night football was taking a piss. That's where they've gone geographically.
I ain't doing Wednesday night pints.
What was Potter on about? Says Teletext Pair 499. Thank you very much. About a silver bullet. Pick a decent team and we won't be in this mess, you mug. Says him. And the Premier League keeps pushing Friday fixtures. Away fans face travel chaos, extra expenses and late nights while broadcasters rake in millions. I mean, that's about it. Games on Friday nights, if you're going up to Leeds, you're not going to be able to get a train back. You know what I mean? Like, this is where a lot of they're literally pushing people to make choices or to either book an hotel, sleep rough, or drink and drive. Like, there's no other fucking choices if you want to go to a game.
Let's be honest. The games like that, like you said, who benefits? Companies benefit who run hotels and things like that. Okay, you're putting economy in and money into the economy, that type of thing, money into local businesses and businesses around the grounds. But it's everything is at the expense of the football fan.
It's only that as well, Scott. People have got to book time off work. They've got to work around it. They're not going to get back to the early hours of Saturday morning. And look, I know football fans, they love the away days. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of people out there thinking, Leeds away on a Friday night, yeah, I'm up for that. And I get that. And I do get that. But when it starts becoming like constant all the time, where you're not at home on a Saturday, because you growing up, right, you never used to really have midweek games. You used to work all week, and you used to every Saturday it was football. There was hardly any. There was no 5:30 games on Saturdays, was there? It was a 3 o'clock kickoff, and then you had Super Sunday, a Monday night football. That was all we had. Now it's Friday night football, Super Sunday, fucking what bonus Sunday games now. They're showing every 2 o'clock. You got Saturday night football. You've got 12 o'clock kickoffs. You know, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. People that bet must be frustrated. The betting people must be frustrated with all these kickoff times. Their accumulators must be out by 12:30. Bet on the 3 o'clock. You got fucking 2 games to bet on.
Right, we have got a video to play just about final one standing. So let us play that, and then we'll be back. Did you enter the final one standing last week for the big jackpot? Well, guess what? Me and Scott, we're still in. But if you didn't enter, or like Ryan and Dan, you've gone out. But don't fear, because if you didn't get a chance to enter, or like Ryan and Dan, you went out of the competition, there is a new competition starting this week, and it's for a £50,000 jackpot. Just pick one Premier League team, and the rules are simple. If your team wins, you go through, and if you lose or draw, you are out. Download the William Hill app today and click the link in the description or scan a QR code to play. Register for free and enter your shot at £50,000. You have to be 18 plus to enter, be in the UK. T's and C's apply, and please gamble responsibly. But I'll tell you what we're going to do, Scotty. Ryan and Dan are out, and we're going to pick our team. So you picked who last week?
I picked Manchester City last week.
Manchester City look very, very comfortable. But you know what the thing is now, Scotty? You can't pick Man City again. That's the problem, right? And I picked Spurs. You know, I went quite comfortable last week. I thought Spurs, they look quite good as it happens. Burnley under the carpet. Dan picked Brighton. No, he didn't. Dan picked Chelsea. He thought he was going to go for one of the big boys. I told him it may be a mistake because obviously Crystal Palace are in great form and they drew, so he is out. And Ryan went for Brighton over Fulham, and guess what? Fulham pops out with a 98th minute equaliser to knock Ryan out of the competition as well. But as I said, don't worry about that because they have got another chance to enter in a different league. Listen, with this William Hill app, you can set up your own friends league, so you can all not only enter the big one for the jackpot, you can also enter your own friends league as well and just compare how we're doing. And I'll tell you what, 2 out of 4 ain't bad, is it, Scotty?
No, that's it, mate. That's it. Just adds to the pressure this week, though. You know, we've got to keep the
pressure. Yeah, who is going to be the final man, final one standing? So tell me now. Who are you picking this week? Because we've had quite a debate on this.
Mate, do you know what, right? Looking at these fixtures, obviously I can't pick City because I had City last week. And to be fair, I think that City-Tottenham game could go either way. But the fixtures this week, I think, are some of the hardest fixtures you're going to see for week 2. You know, a lot of teams there losing their first game, and you think, you know, they may bounce back. You know, look at us, for example. We take on Chelsea on a Friday night. You can't pick a winner in that one.
This is where it's a bit tempting, Scott, because being a West Ham fan, I could pick Chelsea, and I think Chelsea were going to beat us comfortably. But I think I want to do that. I don't want to tempt fate, you know. So I'll tell you what I'm going to pick, and then we're going to go for your pick. I'm going to plump for Arsenal over Leeds this week. I think that is quite a listen. You're never guaranteed anything in life, but I'm going to go for that one as my my pick this week because I'm quite comfortable with that.
Yeah, I think Arsenal being at home, their first home game of the season, mate. I think you could be on there. You know, Leeds to be up for it, but I think Arsenal will just nick that one. For me, as I said, mate, it's been hard. It's been hard, and watching the Arsenal Man United game last week, United played well, and I've got a funny feeling they're going to turn Fulham over, even though it's at Craven Cottage. But United's record there is quite good. I think that they were a bit unlucky against Arsenal, so I'm going Manchester United to beat Fulham.
Okay, there we go. There's our 2 picks. As I said before, there's a £50,000 jackpot. If you didn't enter or you went out last week, don't worry. There's game weeks every week to enter into. So it's still it's free to register. You have to be 18 plus and in the UK. Full T's and C's apply. Please gamble responsibly. Download the William Hill app to play the final one standing. Thank you very much. Back to the video. Yeah, so this is just third. Ryan and Dan went out last week, and I just went in. As it says, you have to be in the UK and Ireland to play the game, and you have to be 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly, and the terms and conditions are in the link down in the description down below. So there we go. That's that. Should we preview the Chelsea game then?
Fucking Fulham.
Yeah, right. Before we do that, Nick, who would you have gone for if you were still in this week?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
I probably would have, just a bit like what Nicky said. Probably part of me would have picked Chelsea, but I fancy Arsenal with a comfortable home win against Leeds. I also think Liverpool get a result at Newcastle. I think they'll win with what's going on with Newcastle at the moment and Isaac situation. I think Liverpool will go there and get a result. But there are some tough games because I think Burnley have got Sunderland, Forest. Who Forest got? Is it Brentford they've got or Palace? One of them two.
Palace, I think.
Yeah, so they've got draws written all over them. So it's a difficult week, but that's why I went out because I don't like match day 2.
There we go. So yeah, it is West Ham Chelsea at the London Stadium tomorrow night. Boys, let's just sum up this video. What do you think? What are you thinking?
Look, it's going to be tough. Chelsea, you know, they can be a hit and miss sometimes. But like Ryan said, when you look at the quality that they've got in their midfield and how poor our midfield are, unless we see drastic changes in the starting 11 to try and combat their midfield, you know, they steamrolled through us last season, and I can very much see them doing very similar this season. You know, but as my Chelsea mates at work will tell me, you know, they just never know. They never know with their own team. You know, that one week they look like well beaters, and the next week they can't. You know, they just can't cut it. It's very, very odd. But I think the signing of João Pedro is a good signing for them up front. He's going to add a lot. He's much more clinical than Jackson. But obviously, if Jackson's still there and he comes on, then his pace will worry our defence. You know, it's hard to see the way we were in that second half against Sunderland, any hope on us actually getting a result. But as we've said earlier on, you know, you look at West Ham, and we've done it before. We've popped up and beat teams like this when we wasn't given a hope in hell.
Right. Is there anything we can do?
I mean, look, Chelsea would have been training with confidence this week, knowing they've got us at the London Stadium. You know, they're going to have so much of the ball. They're going to control the midfield. They're going to control the game. As you said, they've got João Pedro up front. If not, they've got Liam Delap to look at as well. They've got, obviously, Jackson who can come on. But you've got Caicedo who's just going to sit there. He's going to dictate the midfield. You've got Fernandes who's going to be popping around. And the one that worries me is Palmer. I just think he's going to be popping up all over the pitch. He's going to want the ball. He's going to have so much confidence, you know. And I just think that an early goal for them, it's going to be a long night for us. And when I look at our team and I think to myself, how do we set up? Said you, Scott, and there's no Alvarez. You look at that bench. Who's going to come in and replace any of them players from last week? There's no one. There's no one. I mean, I didn't even think I'd be saying this, but is there like the way they play and the way we play, like, is it fucking maybe give Callum Wilson a start up front against them and get Fulcrook to come off the bench? Like, and I didn't think I'd say that, but you can't set up the same, because if we go into that game with the same team and the same mentality and the same attitude, we're going to get battered. And someone just said there, start Souček. And yeah, I think I'd bring Souček in for Rodriguez. He's not going to drop Ward-Prowse. He's not going to drop Ward-Prowse, but he's got to do something. He's got to do something. It's just worrying. I can't even work out how we can break this out. Last season, we had enough players in our squad that I think, yeah, do you know what? We could, you know, you can tinker with it a bit and change it. There's not enough. I mean, I said it and I'll say it again, and no disrespect to him, but Irvine shouldn't be nowhere near this first team. He's not a Premier League quality player.
Nope.
But he's probably gonna look at him to bring him on and do what? Just to keep the score down.
Yeah, and that's the thing, mate. You know, when you're sitting there looking at, you know, all right, towards the end of last season, we were unlucky to get beat there against them. You know, and you saw the fight, and we did sort of raise our game to the bigger sides last season. But like you said there, you're looking at bringing on Callum Wilson, a player that a lot of people were questioning why we brought him in. You know, the quality's there. He's a good quality player, but his best days are behind him now. You know, but the other thing that worries me, you're not going to give the guy the service. That's the big thing in Fulkrug. You look at Fulkrug, the way Fulkrug wants to bring players into the game. You know, we said this, and the mad thing is what we said about rinse and repeat. We said the same thing with Hilaire, same thing with Kamaka. You've got to play up to them, play in and around them. You know, and like you said, with that midfield that Chelsea have got, they're going to squash our midfield. They're going to squeeze. They're going to make us false mistakes. Will Prowse is a great ball playing player. You know, he can pick a pass, same as Paquetá. But if you've not got the runners off of them making the move, they're both pointless being in your side because
they're going to overrun it.
Yeah,
they're going to overrun it.
Yeah, and that is the big issue. You can have ball playing midfielders, but if you're not playing players that are going to make the runs, you know, you're going to have a player playing up front who can't fight off three defenders by himself and nothing in and around him. It's just pointless. Yeah. You've got to play higher up the pitch, and you've got to use the squad that you've got. And unfortunately, I can't see us doing it. Like you said, how many times last season people say Souček shouldn't be nowhere near the first team? Straight away, first game back at the season, we should have played Souček. We need Souček in the midfield.
Do you know the one thing I can probably take from tomorrow is that I can't see Chelsea playing balls over the top and looking for the big man up top because they haven't got one. So, you know, maybe they start playing on the floor. They can cut us open like that. It might, because our centre backs last week, Todibo, Kilman, and Aguirre, you know, for some of them goals to get beat, you know, we've got three centre backs that can't win headers.
This is the worry, mate.
Something's got to change. Do you bring Mavropanos in for someone? Do you drop maybe Aguirre? Do you drop Kilman? Who do you drop? Because yeah, it's worrying, mate. I don't really know what we can do. I mean, up and down the flanks, I'm confident Wan-Bissaka and Diop are good. Yep. They're good at getting down there. But like Bowen last week, Bowen was good first half. You know, he had a chance. But yeah, second half, he went missing. He was dragged out to the right. Mm-hmm. And he's not getting the service. And I know someone just said, yeah, they've got pace. And that's what I was alluding to. That's what worries me with Chelsea, because they don't play the balls over the top. They play it on the floor. And they don't take one touch, look around, and hold on to it too long. They're bang, bang, bang. They're popping it off. And by the time they've knocked 4 passes about, they've gone from their box to our box, and our midfield is still pulling up their socks.
Yeah, and that's the thing, mate. And the thing is, you mentioned the 3 strikers. It looks like Jackson's not going to be involved in the squad, but the 3 strikers that they've got in Jackson, Delap, and João Pedro, I'm sure they all scored against us last season.
Yeah,
you know, and that is worry. It is a worry.
That is a worry. There's some breaking news actually before we wrap up. Darren Bent has just been on TalkSport. This is what I've just been messaged. Darren Bent has just been on TalkSport. Saying that he was going to sign for West Ham before he went to Spurs. The reason he didn't sign for West Ham is because he was put off by David Sullivan.
I've heard him say that story before.
Yeah. Well, he's just said it on TalkSport apparently, just as we've been live. So there we go. There's obviously something going on there.
I think it was when Kerbishley was in charge.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. I remember when he was going to sign, but he obviously didn't. But scores then, boys, as we wrap up. Go on. Give us it's with it.
Well, we do a football thing in work with week predictions, and I went for 3-1 Chelsea. Do you know what? The one positive for me tomorrow night is that Bowen loves the London derby, and I can see him getting a goal tomorrow. Hopefully, he gets a goal and it's 1-0 and we win. But
yeah,
I can just see Chelsea ripping us apart, and I'd probably take a 3-1 there if you offered it to me, because I'm worried what the scoreline could be.
Do you know what? As it is a London derby, and we've got to see some sort of performance from the side. I think that. No,
Go
do you
on,
know what?
Scott, say it.
Do you know what? I think we're going to nick a draw. Friday night,
No.
under the lights, London derby. We're going to nick a draw. It's going to be 1-1.
I don't share your positivity, I'm afraid. I'm going to go minimum 4-0 Chelsea. Minimum.
Do you know what this game reminds me of? Do you remember that? I think it was our first season at London Stadium. Do you remember when we played Tottenham on a Friday night and they battered us, but we won 1-0 when Lanzini scored?
Yeah,
And we were shit at the time. That's what this game reminds me of. And I could just think to myself, oh, if Chelsea have another off day in front of goal, Hermanson has the home debut of his life, and something happens. But I just can't see it.
I hope that something happens tomorrow. I hope that the football starts coming together and there's something that we're not seeing, what he's seeing. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I hope, but I can't see it. But there we go. What do you think? Leave your comment in the comment section down below. Thank you for joining us for Friday Night Pint. It's been a lovely Friday night, apart from Friday night, but apart from the fact it's Thursday. So, yeah, we won't be having such a good Friday night, I'm sure. But we'll see. I'll be there doing fan cams tomorrow. Come and see me outside the shop if you want to come over and you're about. Enjoy the game if you can. Subscribe if you're new. You can become a member, and that's next to the subscribe button. And don't forget to join us on Final One Standing. But there,
hit that thumbs up as well.
Yeah, leave a thumbs up, and share it. It helps the algorithm. But thank you very much for joining us. One thing left to say. Come on, you
Come on, you irons.